Hello, everyone. Kim Kaisa here. I am streaming today to LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you all for joining me. And I'm going to talk about how to fix power leaks in our businesses and our lives. I'm going to tell you what those are, and really, to me, the most effective way to start fixing those things so that we can enjoy businesses, we can enjoy careers, we can enjoy lives that we absolutely love in our full power. 'Cause that's what I'm all about, is creating our own experience of reality in the most enjoyable way possible. So this is a little bit of a tag on from my video last week, which was called The Power of Choice. And I got such a resounding response, positive responses from that video. If you haven't watched that one, go back and take a peek. I think I did it on either Tuesday or Wednesday, and even sent the audio of it out to my list. And I got a lot of positive response from that particular broadcast. So I thought I would expand on that point a bit today, and really talk about what I call power leaks. These are places in our business, in our career, in our lives where things maybe aren't going as well as we hope they would, or that we wish they would, I guess, is maybe a different way to say it. Like, and you can probably identify those for yourselves right now. But there are always places for people. A lot of times clients come to me with those places in their business in particular where things aren't working like they would. They maybe have a cycle they've tried to change, things we've tried to change over and over, but then ultimately you think you fix something, and then, you know, 6 months later you come back and it's the same problem again. Right? That's not fixed. And this is where I feel like what we have is, like, it's called a power leak. That's what I call it, as a power leak. So in other words, like in a lot of areas in your business or in your life, you're probably you don't have power leaks. You're really happy with how things are going. You're creating amazing things. But what we're really honing in on today are those places where potentially you're not. Okay. I see somebody's here with me today. Fantastic. And I'll just say quickly before we get full into the teaching, if you're here live, I love hearing from you. I love knowing who's here. Sometimes I can see who that is on StreamYard, other times I cannot. But also, if you watch the replay, I love when you guys watch the replay and then let me know that you've been watching as well. That like warms my heart, and it's just nice to know. I always try to come back and comment. So power leaks. So I'm going to set the table here today first, and then we'll get into specifically how to fix these power leaks. So here's where I'm coming from as a business coach, as a human being. This is what I see to be true in life. And it's that we are all creating all the time our experience of our reality. Okay. Like that's a foundational premise that I actually believe, and I have enough experience with that to believe it. Um, so that's where I'm coming from when I'm talking about power of choice, fixing power leaks, that sort of thing. I'm saying that we are all creating our experience of reality moment to moment, but it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like that. It looks like there are situations out here in the world that have been created from who knows what, and we just have to deal with what happens. But what I see from where I'm sitting now, studying this level of consciousness for about the past 15, 17 years, it looks like to me that there's a part of us that is creating that experience of reality that we're largely not conscious of a lot of the time. Okay. And it really colors what we're seeing, but we're not really aware of that most of the time until we get really interested in this, which I'm very interested in, obviously. Okay. And so, so situations will happen. We've had, my video last week was called The Power of Choice. I had no idea what was happening in the political landscape last week. It's not something I really keep close tabs on. So I think it was just really funny that I talked about the power of choice, and then the thing happened with the Supreme Court, and people were reacting to that reality. So some people were really happy and some people were really angry, and it was a very polarized response. And in that polarized response, and this is part of where the power leak comes in. I'm going to start talking to that. In that response, it didn't matter what side of the argument people were on. When we get into the argument, for, against, positive, negative, I don't care what we're talking about, this is a place we lose our power. This is a place we lose our power, and we start to like become part of someone's agenda instead of like really creating our lives for our highest good and for the highest good of others. Okay, so this place of polarized positions, again, I don't, you, if you watch me very much, you know that I don't take a side on hardly anything. I won't say nothing, but I can't think of something that I actually got on the side of recently, because I know that that steals my power as an individual. It steals my power for my life, and it also steals my power to be able to influence and impact people in a positive way. So I don't spend my energy, I don't spend my resources on polarized topics. I, I have, I think there are higher level conversations we could be having about all of these polarized topics. Most people aren't interested in those. I think we have to zoom up to about the 40,000-foot level, and then we can start having real conversations. But the conversations are being had now are doing absolutely nothing, right? They're not moving anything forward. Basically, I'm 55 years old, and the same issues have been on the table. Not COVID and vaccines, that's a new one that's been turning, but like lots of these topics have been on the table for most of my life, and none have really become resolved, or like they just keep getting more heated. So that's why I know that jumping into some of these topics with big agendas, with people pulling strings in places we can't see, like, I know that steals my power. I know it steals your power if you like to get into them. So this is what I'm talking about when it's a power leak. Because when people get so enraged and spend their resources on researching and writing and that sort of thing, like it's a place where we just, yeah, like we have somewhat limited resources, during the day. We all have the same 24 hours, let's say, right? And so we choose how to spend those. We completely choose. Okay. So this is when we actually experience this sort of like power leak, this diminishing in our power. It's a choice. Okay, it's going back to my broadcast on power of choice. You're choosing this if that's what you're doing. And I have it like, this is a very like minuscule example from my life, but this actually just happened this morning. And it wasn't about any of these big topics. It was on such a little thing, but this is kind of, again, this is getting into the how to fix it. So I was on the phone with the tolling authorities here in Texas, and I had received, unbeknownst to me, a couple of invoices because my tolling tag didn't work when I was in another city, and the mail got stuck in a drawer kind of up under something, and I didn't see it. And when I was cleaning some stuff out today, I found it. And I attempted to resolve this very what became a very complex situation with three different tolling authorities, one in my home city, two other places, with a new car that they didn't pick up on the new plate and that sort of thing. And it got to be really, I can't even tell you how many phone calls that this took. Okay, and how much of my time. I can tell you how much time. It was about an hour and 45 minutes to figure this out. And I noticed during the third or fourth call that I started to lose my power. And here's what that looks like. When I say power leaks, here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when I started to have this kind of like angry. My head kind of started hurting. I noticed my pleasantness with the people who were trying to help me went down a level, and I started being driven by something other than my vision just to get this resolved in a way that was for the highest good of everyone involved. Okay. I lost sight of that. This is just like in a momentary piece. And like people on here, like if you're listening to this, you can go like, well, yeah, those people are a pain to deal with. Like if I took that view, then I've lost my power because I can't even see another way forward, right? Other than these people are a pain to deal with and blah blah blah. And I started to go there, and then it's like, no, because I have trained myself to be very sensitive to changes in my state. So most of the time, I like to keep my state nice and high. I like, even though things happen in my world, I tend to see like the potential. I tend to see, like, even if something kind of dramatic happens in life, I see it for the bigger picture, for the good of the bigger picture. I don't Pollyanna things at all. But I do sort of dance with the storms in my life. Okay. But I noticed like I wasn't dancing with the storm of the tolling agents. I started to get mad. And in the moment, I realized, because this power piece is so high on my agenda. Looks like my Wi-Fi may be acting funny. We'll see here. Um, I hope that y'all are not losing the piece. But anyway, okay. Hopefully we're not losing the plot. We'll figure it out. But I started to lose it. But in the moment, because I've trained myself to be sensitive to this and trained myself that I know where my power is, I know where my influence impact is. It's when I keep my higher vision, I keep my wits about me, I dance with the storms and that sort of thing. And I realized I wasn't doing that. So I could fix it in the moment. Right. I could fix it in the moment. And all in all, I had to pay a little extra toll. There was a mistake on my part. But I didn't have to pay all the hundreds of dollars they were telling me I was going to have to pay for $5 worth of violations. So, so that's like a tiny example. Okay. But again, like we can all go there even every day if we're not training ourselves to be in our highest level reality creation. If we're not training ourselves to be in our power, then we can let things drag us down the road. We could, and flip side of this, instead of getting angry, we kind of Pollyanna and like stick your head in the sand. That's not helpful either. I'm not talking about sticking our head in the sand and being Pollyanna. I'm saying when the mini storms, like I told you about this morning, come up, not really that big of a deal. And the big storms, which a lot of us have in our lives, we can stay completely in our power. Now, how do we do this? And this is something I've been talking a lot about, and it's why I decided to talk about it today. I was talking with a client and friend this morning about this as well. So sometimes these power leaks tend to happen in things like, I'll tell you some of the common ones that I see are like a business owner dealing with an employee, or all the employees. Even that can be a place where this piece about power leaks, some people kind of lose their bearings in that area. Sometimes people lose their bearings about money and start to have the power leaks. Sometimes people lose their bearings about things happening at home or an illness or something like that. And I'm just going to pause really quickly and let my son know to hop off Wi-Fi for a second. I feel like we're having 5, 4. Sorry about this, guys. 1 second. Okay. But these are some of the common places. You guys probably have common places that you tend to lose your sense of, well-being. You lose your power, that sort of thing. If you have places like that, pop them in the comments. I'd love to hear some of the ones you do. But like around employees and money, those are some of the top two that I often deal with. Now, here's the thing: when we go and just try to, like, let's say a business owner has not been like the best with their like problem employees for a really long time, like that's a consistent theme throughout the business, or a person has had sort of like money issues for a long time, right? The thing that people do is they try to go straight towards the thing and fix it. They try to fix the money issue, they try to fix the employee issue. How do I deal with that better? And a lot of times on these things that are really sticky for us, that's not the best way to go about it. Okay, going straight at the problem is not the best way to go about it. And this is where the how to like fix our power leaks, to me, this is one of the most efficient ways to do it. And it's to basically tend to ourselves, and I'm going to say this in a couple different ways, tend to keeping our vibration high. I'm not talking about your mood or your attitude. I'm talking like literally the level at which you're emitting energy, okay? Like tending to your vibration or your frequency, sometimes people call it, okay? In a general way. Like this is going to be something that pays off in many, many, many areas of your life. Okay. So instead of kind of trying to work directly on the thing, especially if you've worked on something a bunch of times, like, ooh, this isn't working, I'm leaking my power here. You say it the way you say it. But working directly on it is usually, if we do it multiple times and it doesn't work, that's not where the juice for the squeeze is, okay? But tending to your own self, your own vibration, your own resonance, however we want to characterize that, like that, and doing it kind of in general, all boats rise with that tide. When things started getting better, like it's going to affect many areas of life. And this is probably the area for me where this kind of work that we're talking about here is the area where I've impacted my own life the most, and it's where I definitely help clients the most in this area. It's not so much when we go in and do like precision surgery on certain things, although sometimes that can be helpful. But these bigger issues that kind of happen recurring, it's like these are the place where we want to, yeah, raise our vibration, get into a better, I don't need, it's not even mindset really, because it's so much deeper than the mind, because what we're talking about is how we feel in our body moment to moment, right? These are not just things that we think about here. This is about kind of um what energy are we sending out with this amazing tool of our bodies, right? And so this how to fix the power leaks, it's like really tending to your vibration. Well, what does that mean exactly? What are we talking about? Tending to your vibration or kind of raising your vibration. Again, it's not about always being happy all the time or anything like that. It's around making sure you're supporting yourself with what you need moment to moment to appreciate your life, right? And a lot of times if I feel like, ooh, I feel I get up and maybe my energy's feeling a little funky, the first thing I do in the morning, it doesn't happen so often these days. Now I'm really working on exactly what I'm telling you. Tending my vibration has been my highest priority for probably close to the last year. But it's like, what does that mean? It's really taking care of ourselves. So it can be spending some time in meditation where you're in your body, not up and out, not up and out. We want to spend time here in the here and now, like appreciating. There's a reason there are a lot of books about gratitude. It's like really appreciating all the amazing things that are going on in life, in our families, in our businesses, just moment to moment, and really appreciating that. Like that automatically just sort of raises our vibration. It really helps to tend ourselves, so to speak. There can be like spending time in nature for people, or spending time that you play in a place that you just love. Doesn't have to be nature, although nature is just naturally very high vibration. We can really notice there's so much in nature that just gets taken care of on its own. Right? It can be. I know. Recently, although she's not in here right now, for me, um, the kitten reminds me often of like really tending my vibration because she's always happy. She's always running around in her bliss, and she'll just come and like throw herself onto my chest and purr. And that's really like it just reminds me, it brings me back to the moment of, yes, we're just living here kind of heaven on earth, and we can create that for ourselves, no matter what's going on out here, no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on out in life, no matter what condition you might be facing. Really, I'm talking about really understanding yourself at a much deeper level, like at a source level, at a level beyond even beyond the physical, in the physical, but beyond the physical. And that's what it is. So it's really, again, a lot of people are like, well, I don't have time to do all that stuff. Okay, well, then keep leaking your power. Not a problem. Just keep doing it. You're choosing though, right? We're just choosing. All of us are choosing all the time. But I would just want to encourage you, if you want a better experience of your life, again, no matter what is going on, doesn't matter what's going on. Um, you're gonna dance with any storm that you have. You have that ability, but to just, if you want to stay in your power, in your biggest influence, right? In your biggest impact in this life, which is why you're here, we got to tend to these places where we leak our power and get pulled into things that we have no influence and impact over, right? And that's really what I want to leave you with today, is this is also in your hands. The power of choice is in your hands. Not leaking power and being in your full power is also in your hands. And that's what I want to leave with you with today. Again, would love to hear your comments. If you're watching on the replay, I appreciate those who have joined me live. I always enjoy coming on here. And yeah, I'll be back again very soon with a related topic. Love you all, and thanks again for watching.